What? Hello, you lovelies, and welcome back to KoiCast. This is my co-host, and he is very excited to be chiming in. If you hear any barking, that is Bookstore with the ones and twos. I'm joined as ever by Jake Lloyd Bacon, father of Bookstore, who is making the sound as incredible as they do. I'm Koi John Joe, a Bostonian who loves pop culture, comic books, and people. And I usually could have kept my cool, but he was sniffing my little foot and it was tickling me, and I couldn't not acknowledge it. So here we are with the intro involving Bookstore. How you doing today, Jake?
I'm doing fantastic. Excited to chat a bunch of nerd shit with you today.
There's a lot going on. We're going into summer, and there's also at a crux in both Marvel and DC's universes, a bit of a shift. And as the streaming wars come to a different high or low, depending on how you see it, we realize the only one that wins this war are the billionaires. It's been a very interesting few weeks out in the world, and I just got back from Rome, so I missed a lot of... Well, actually, it was funny coming back. I missed less than I normally do, but all the stuff was big because like the writer's strike started, which meant there wasn't a lot going on, but everything that was going on was big and shitty.
Right.
The writer's strike's been really interesting in my neighborhood because I'm in like the thick of Hollywood.
I mean, literally right around the corner from Fox Studios.
Yeah. You've also got that like where you drive and you're like, oh right, it's happening.
Yeah.
I'm obviously to be clear, in case anyone was ever confused, if my politics aren't clear, team writers pay people that make art. But it has been very fascinating to see which people are like out on the main lines. Like I've gotten a lot more respect for like certain TV writers, like Brett Goldstein and Jason Sudeikis, just like being out there while Ted Lasso's airing. I didn't see that as much in 08 to my knowledge. So it's been really impressive.
Yeah, I think 08. I mean, we weren't in the same world we were with streaming content.
I didn't have. Yeah, they might have been there. I just didn't see it.
Well, no, it's not that. It's just like whenever that strike happened, there was only so many things on network television.
Yeah,
like Netflix didn't have 12 shows.
They were striking for
every single
ads. It was for commercial streaming because they didn't really have shows en masse yet.
Right.
So it's different. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's just a different beast altogether. But
and the AI of it all is scary to everyone. Sure. So therefore, like people are out because they're like, this is the future.
But I mean, the fact that SAG now is
June 30th, I think is the final day to make a decision. I think June 11th is going to happen.
Just about to join them.
Yep. DGA around the corner.
Yep. DGA around the corner, which is going to be a total massive shutdown of entertainment and art creation unless a few dickheads can go with a slightly smaller yacht. Not even like not even like a significantly smaller, just a slightly smaller
yacht. Can I handle the 24-footer instead of the 26? I don't know. It's almost negligible. And that's what's really interesting about this strike is it's very easy to solve.
This is one of those solutions that is I don't know. Listen, this is American free public health care. This is like it's one of those things where the answer is very simple.
Right there.
We want to say it's more complicated than it is, but it really isn't.
Yeah. I'm hoping it's over by the time we record again, but it won't be.
You're hoping that the strike is over?
Yeah, because if SAG and the DGA join, I think it's going to be a lot shorter. And
but that's the thing is that we won't. That's not going to happen by the next time we record. 2 times maybe from now, because by the next time we record, SAG will still be within their window.
Yeah.
But
the authorization's gone through.
I don't know that it's going to be over that quick.
I think it's going to be 6 to 9 months if it's just WGA. I think if SAG joins, it'll be like another month or 2. I think if DGA joins, it's over in a week.
Right. Yeah.
Because DGA is the final straw, and it's also like big things. Like you can't do anything.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see.
But are they in a position where they have enough shit that they don't need them for ride
for a while.
just to try to bluff? Because that's all they're going to do.
Yeah.
They're going to, I don't know who it was, but some network, it was ABC who released their like fall lineup. Did you see that? And everybody was just dogging on it because it was just like the same 2 shitty reality shows. And then like reruns of Abbott Elementary was like their big like narrative.
Guys, we're doing it.
So like they're gonna bluff for as long as they can.
Yeah.
And like that's why I don't think it's gonna be quick. I think that they're gonna draw it out.
I was talking to a couple writers last night, and they've been on the front lines, and they think if the WGA is able to bring in all of the unions like SAG and DGA within a week. And I was like, that seems very ambitious. That seems very like optimistic.
Yeah.
But I'm hearing from writers that aren't in these positions, 6 to 9 months is their minimum. So like it's very interesting.
Right. I don't know. We'll see how that shit pans out. But pay people.
Pay people.
not that
Speaking of
complicated.
writers, I am very excited about some of the rumors going around with Superman. I thought it'd be fun to talk to you about. Now, Superman's
What
all
are
unknowns.
now who's Superman again?
He's this guy. He grew up at a
Is
farm.
he the one with the lightning bolt on his chest?
Yeah, he flies in the sky. He's a bird. He's a plane. So this Superman guy.
Hang on a second. I need to use the DC Comics Encyclopedia to discover who Superman is.
Oh, well, he's right there on the cover of this beautiful book. That's actually one of the best editions of an encyclopedia I've ever seen.
Now, which one is he? Is he the gentleman with the green ring?
Yep, that's him. That's Hal Kent. But I really am excited for the fact that they're going with unknowns, which I know you're excited about. That's always been
has that
you.
been announced? They've said that?
All the names are people I've never heard of. Like every single
Fantastic.
name in contention. So it'd be kind of weird.
For the writers.
No, for Superman.
Okay, because you said, speaking of writers, got it.
So I was sorry, I was changing it to James Gunn. Didn't say his name.
No.
James Gunn, Superman.
Got it.
Like the main guy that's in the ring right now, his last name is Corin Sweat, and I've never heard that name before in my life.
Listen, people who've listened to the show since the beginning know I've had a few experiences with Koi Sweat.
Yep, that's true. That's true. None of them were actually ever proven, but they were experiences.
I love new fucking names. That's all I want. Because here's the thing. This is the thing about unknowns, okay? Unknowns have been working their ass off for 10 years, okay? Now, that's not always the case.
Sure.
But
Aldous Hodge is like a 20-year overnight success.
100%. And there's a lot of people who... like the fan castings, anytime there's a fan casting for like a superhero team, I always go like, okay, we're going to do Fantastic Four. All right, let's have Reed be the name that gets the movie made and sold and makes the studios happy. And then let everybody else have success on that.
I think you cast a big Lex, you cast a medium Lois, and then you cast an unknown Superman. And that's so good with their
right. You know, we're going to talk all about this on a patron-only pod in the weeks to come here. But having recently watched The Town for the first time, Alexandra and I were talking about how that's a great example of like, when we see that now, we go, God, this is a star-studded movie.
At the time, though,
but at the time, it wasn't.
Just Ben Affleck.
At the time, it was, Ben Affleck.
Renner was like the guy that was everywhere, but no one knew him yet.
Yeah, but that movie made Renner
100%.
in a way that nothing beforehand did. Same thing with like John Hamm, not a movie star. Yeah, big TV star by the time the show came out.
Rebecca Hall, still an actor's actor.
What's her name? Renee Reynolds.
Rebecca Hall. Blake Lively.
Blake Lively. Like these were all people who were like at the time fairly unknowns, but Ben Affleck is gonna get the movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Made and done.
The excitement I have to talk about this movie. It's coming these next few weeks.
But in any case, like that's a good example of like, I get it. This industry, it's an industry.
You still have to
business.
sell it.
You have to make sure it's going to sell. And most people like to see a picture of a person they know and go, oh, I like that person. I want to see that movie.
And I'm in between because I do definitely like to have enough stars that I think the movie can be bigger if it needs to, if the budget requires it. But I also think that, people need to be able to get there.
Yeah, but can I argue this? If you have less stars, you don't need that big of a fucking budget because you don't have to pay them an absorbent amount of movie.
But I see movies almost entirely for the cast. Like when I think of a movie, I don't look at the story. I look at who's in it.
But what if you don't know anybody who's in it? That's the point I'm trying to make.
Then word of mouth has to get me there.
Oh,
I'm based like largely on like.
So you are most of Middle America.
Well, like if Ben Foster's in a movie, I'm seeing it no matter what it's about. And like there's
but all right, that's not.
Like there's certain
I get
actors,
what you're saying, but
yeah. So you need the Ben Foster in it.
But that's sort of in reverse though of what I think you're saying, which is like, if I see a movie that looks really good. If you see a trailer for a movie and it looks good,
if it looks good, I'm there. Oh no! I'm just saying, like
tells you?
The Indian mid-budget.
Sure.
I need the name to pull me,
okay.
And then I'm there.
Yeah,
and I'm saying like
I get it.
I wouldn't discover every movie because I need an anchor. So that's why I think like the half and a half casts are important.
Right.
And then if you're looking at actors that I'm referring to, like Ben Foster's not going to cost you $30 million,
right.
But like he's going to cost you your $5, and then the movie gets made.
And are the names that we don't know that are being touted as potential cast members for the Superman Legacy, is what it's called, right? Superman Legacy. Are any of them? You said you don't know them, but have you seen anything where people are like, "Oh, this person's in the show"? Or
they've like, and even the shows, I don't know. So that to me feels like Netflix's Hollywood. Didn't know they made a show, but called Hollywood.
Love it.
There's a guy named like Wolfgang something. I'm like, I don't remember a Wolfgang. But then on the Lex Luthor side, the number one name I keep hearing is Nicholas Hoult, who was ironically up for Superman, which is funny because I thought that name was for Superman.
Right.
But apparently he's up for Lex. And then Rachel Brosnahan
I could see
for
that.
Lois Lane.
Rachel Brosnahan?
Miss Maisel herself.
Oh, gotcha.
The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is the number one name I keep hearing for Lois Lane.
Okay.
So, and I also didn't know she was 5'1". Blew my mind.
Wow, what
tiny.
What
she looks so big on screen. Yeah. They shoot her well. So yeah, those are the names I've been hearing tossed around, and those feel like the right point in careers. And if you also look at the history of Superman, usually you cast a big Lex and then an unknown Supes.
Right.
So I'd love if it was Nick Holton, like some guy.
That's smart. Yeah, like, and that's the position. Like, you always cast the villain as like the name, like that's smart. It's a smart way to go.
I still want Bradley Cooper because I know that was a conversation
as Lex.
As Lex. I think he'd be a really interesting take.
Yeah, it's hard for me to imagine. I mean, I love him. I don't think he could do anything bad.
Yeah.
Although, in fairness, I didn't see A Star Is Born, and I heard it was
he's
atrocious.
Great.
But yeah, I mean,
those are the rumors right now. I thought you'd apprate the unknown because I know that's always your.
I fucking love it, man.
And speaking of, let's go over to Fantastic Four, where not unknowns are being discussed, but one of our favorites. You recently watched a movie of his I love is being talked about for The Thing. Mr. David Diggs.
David Diggs is The Thing is interesting. Okay.
And then apparently Emma Stone turned down Sue Storm because of pay conversation, which I thought was interesting because I'm wondering if it's like, I'll do the movie, but you want me for 10 years and 82 films? That's not enough money. Because Marvel doesn't pay what the contract is. They pay to make you a household name, but Emma Stone already is.
Also, here's the thing. Anybody who's already been in a superhero movie knows the nightmare of work that it is being in a superhero movie.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't want her in it because of that exact reason, because she's already been in superhero movies. Like, don't get me wrong. Reynolds is great, and he's great as Deadpool. Sure. But also, like, how many goddamn superhero characters does one person have to play when there are, countless other actors out there? Like, and so while I think she would be great, I
love her type. I love that. If there's an Emma Stone that I don't know yet, great. Those are the two names that were.
It's interesting because I don't know if it's like that way for you, but Emma Stone is like stuck perpetually at like 25 in my head. Do you know what I mean? Like, she's just one of those people who like
has that locked in chronologically.
And it's interesting because I am thinking like, oh no, I can't wait to see, because I'm hoping for a slightly older.
I think they're going to go mid-30s and maybe
that's what
early 40s for Adam Driver.
That's what I would love. I would love that world.
I think Adam Driver is Reed because it was really loud and then it got quiet, and now I'm like, I think that's
you think it got quiet because they're like that's fine. And again, if he's the name and he's the big,
and then you anchor around him.
He's not in any. Yes, he's in a big Star Wars, obviously, but he's not in any other that I know of, like superhero big franchise movies.
And he's got that arrogant intelligence.
He's perfect.
Right.
He is how you and I had this conversation when we were doing our own like fan castings.
Yeah.
Of Fantastic Four, and I had mentioned how like I always read Reed as being kind of a pompous dick. And not in a nerdy way, not in the like nose up. And I told you, like, when Barry started, I thought that Bill Hader is a great example of what I saw. And Driver is the like beefier, sexier, more but version of that guy.
Sure.
Where he's just like, he's got charm. And so he gets away with being an asshole.
Right. It's the charm that gets him out of trouble because he's been a dick to everyone.
Also, just like, like the smartest guy in the room. I thought, and honestly, like I'll catch flack for this, but I thought Krasinski's terrible as Reed. Like, I think that's a terrible casting. The fans just got behind it, but he's
that's what Kevin Feige did. He gave the fans the moment, but it's not, that wasn't meant to ever be the Reed. Like, it was a fan moment, but the fans now are saying that he's Reed. I'm like, no.
It's also just a bad casting.
Yeah, I like Krasinski. I just don't see him as Reed.
I love Krasinski, but he's not that dude.
No.
He's too
down to earth.
He doesn't have the right voice. Yes.
Gordon Levitt is now one of my fan casts. Yeah. So like, I locked that in because I haven't shooken it.
Yeah.
It's
I'm glad I put that in you.
Yeah, no. And that is also the Adam Driver type. Like, that's very much in that vein.
Although I will say, as much as I love David Diggs and the younger person, I still don't think there's a better Ben Grimm out there than John Leguizamo. That's still my big name, quote, big name fan casting.
Yeah.
John Leguizamo as Ben Grimm, I think, is just aces. That fucking the accent, like he exudes New York, he exudes that everyman. And now that he's older, right, the pre-story, the origin, when he's not just a CGI rock monster. Like, I don't know, Johnny Legs. I feel like Johnny Legs as Ben Grimm is my favorite.
His name escapes me and it's driving me crazy, but I have a impossibly good The Thing, and it even looks like him, and it's like driving me crazy. He's a David Fincher actor.
I think you mentioned him when we did this.
Yeah, and it's driving me anyway. But I love that, like, we don't know, but we're attached to these archetypes. So no matter what, I mean, it's going to be great. So I honestly think Comic-Con this year is going to be Superman entirely announced, directors for the movies announced, and then Marvel realizing they needed to pivot, giving us Fantastic Four, maybe some X-Men. I think this is going to be a huge Comic-Con. as far as like Marvel needs to right the ship, and what better place to do it?
Yeah, and I definitely feel like separating themselves from, you know, the debacle that's been this past year. Not that they haven't made good movies or you know, the essentially really the last phase, which just I think landed in a way that was it felt like quantity over quality.
I also think negativity is more popular, so we've
Of
gotten,
course.
but we've also gotten bigger, so
Right.
therefore expectations, and like everybody's like, "Oh, Phase 4 sucked." I'm like, Shang-Chi,
No, it didn't.
Wakanda
I
Forever,
think-
like it's just people remember the bad because that's what everybody yelled about.
Yes, and I also think that unfortunately it was too much.
Yeah,
because you know what
it was like every 2 weeks I had to like. I
Yeah.
was so tired.
Yeah, it's a lot. It was just too much,
And that's why I think they're dumping. That actually brings the next story. I think that's why they're dumping everything at once at the end of the year. I don't know if you heard, but
So yeah, they're releasing all of.
so we're getting Loki season 2 October 6th.
but
and then
that's still weekly though.
Weekly, but that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
If you look at this picture, people aren't zooming out.
Right.
October 6th is Loki. It's
Right.
7 or 8 weeks, however long that is.
Right.
That means that goes right through November. November 10th is the Marvels. So while Loki is airing, the Marvels comes out. And then, whilst all that is going on, Echo drops all at once November 29th. So literally 3
Within
weeks.
2 months. Within 2 months, we'll have
Well,
three
within 2
entire
months, yeah.
properties. And
And the
they
last
did
of
that
the-
though. They did that with. I think it was Loki. No, there was one other thing where a movie had come out while a show was on their second to last week.
But they've never double dipped
What was it?
It feels crazy.
But then releasing it, that honestly, it doesn't speak highly of
Echo.
of
But
Echo,
it
right,
looks
Echo.
like them just dumping everything Chepek made.
Which is unfortunate because it's like, well, you know, here you have another woman of color led
Yep.
show that might not get the same prominence. But I don't know. I wasn't a fan of Ms. Marvel for no other reason. I just thought it was poorly written. But
and I got more into Miss Marvel than you, but I also
Yeah.
think that they have twice as many male shows. They need to invest in a bigger female character than these side characters. Like Black Widow came out with a whimper because the timing. The Marvels is coming out when they need a win, and I think they're going to have.
I gotta say that the trailers for that look so much better. Like we were watching this and we were both Alexander and I'm like, oh, now we get why this is a good casting of Ms. Marvel. Like,
Oh,
'cause
right, right.
We were very apathetic
But
about
as part
her,
of the team, you
but
see it.
seeing them all together, I go, oh, I can't. She's going to be very enjoyable in that
100%.
story.
I agree. But I think it's really interesting. We're going to have within 2 months 3 things,
Right.
and then Echo's just like over Thanksgiving week.
Right.
And I think it's honestly just so they don't have week to week word
Right.
of mouth. It's going to be all at once. It's going to be gone in 2 weeks,
Right.
and then they're going to start next year with Cap 4, and it's going to be all the Iger stuff. I think
Right,
it's going
right.
to be. I think they're righting the ship, and I think that's why Comic-Con's going to be so important this
Right.
year.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to be here. I think we're going to be in Scotland for Comic-Con.
Oh, that's dope.
No, it sucks because I'm going to miss Comic-Con.
But you're going to be in Scotland.
I know, but Comic-Con.
As someone who just had a really hard time reintegrating to American life, enjoy getting out this fucking country.
Yeah.
I lost weight eating gelato and pasta and pizza because the food is real.
Also because you walked around Rome
Dude,
for the
30,000 steps a day was bananas.
You were just like,
Just fucking moving.
Yeah.
I did 14 miles a day on average. That's
Right.
crazy. But at the same
Listen.
time, like the people were lovely and the food was great. Go to Scotland.
listen, I understand that you're of Irish descent and not Scottish, but it's all Celtic.
It's all Celtic.
You went to the land of my people.
I did. You're right. And I
And
go
I'm
to the
gonna-
land of my
I'm gonna
people.
go to the land
oh,
of your
it's beautiful.
people.
I love that.
You went to Italy.
Your people were lovely
Listen,
until they found out
all-
I was Irish, which was
Yes.
funny. I actually had like a gang war moment. I had an actual like anger happen and like shopping. I stopped saying I was American because they tried to sell you more, and I started saying I was Canadian because I don't want to be associated with this country. But then this
No,
guy,
from Canada, 8.
yeah, I literally tried the Canada card, but this guy didn't believe me. He gave me that like quizzical dog look, and I was like, I'm Irish, and the guy went, oh, Irish, and he gave me the angriest middle finger I've ever gotten.
Listen.
Like it was powerful.
Listen,
The Italians, man. The one negative experience I had, the rest was all net positive.
Right.
Like Italy was one of the most welcoming places I've ever been. It was impossibly kind.
yeah.
And even the language is like weirdly, I mean, it's obviously the most romantic fucking place I've ever
Sure.
been. But like weirdly, the language is like very like inviting you in. Even when someone's yelling at you, you're like,
Right, yeah. For
Fucking
sure.
loved it, dude.
Yeah.
Rome's
Yeah,
dope.
somebody being angry at you in Italian is
still
better,
charming.
is better than somebody trying to talk dirty to you in German.
100%. Or Russian. There's some languages
Right.
that sound abrasive.
Yes.
No disrespect to Germany or Russia.
No,
But
yes.
like Italy is just like, yeah, forget about it. And fucking accidentally
That's
found
racist. You can't do that.
Oh, that's true. You can't.
Listen, you're not allowed to do that.
When you come back from Scotland, you get one pass. I went to accidentally found the Vatican. I was just walking around, and there was this like a line, and I was like, "Oh, that looks like a thing to do." So I got in line. And
what is this for?
I wandered into the Vatican.
That sounds like a fucking Mr. Bean.
Dude, it was so funny because I looked up and there was a Sistine Chapel, and I was like, "Oh, I'm in the Pope's house," and I couldn't remember the name of the place. I couldn't remember the name of the Vatican. I kept calling it the Pope's house. But the actual place was
sure you fit in. Yeah.
Oh, they loved me.
I love. By the way, I love that you like. I didn't want to come off as a dumb American.
Hey, is this the fucking Pope's house?
Where's the Pope's house?
You know, I don't agree with everything he thinks, but he's got a great decor. But yeah, I really had a beautiful time there, and then coming back has been a challenge. So go to Scotland because it's nicer. Speaking of things being a challenge, you've seen Guardians?
Yes.
Did you see the news this week that is a spoiler about the fate of a character?
No.
Okay, we'll talk about that in the spoiler episode.
On the spoiler episode,
it's been
like
3
when we talk about Guardians.
Yeah.
So okay,
because there was an Easter egg that James Gunn confirmed this week that I think is relevant. And then the Guardians box office only dropped 47% week 1 to week 2, which is the second best drop in the history of Marvel. And then week 2 to 3, which is now only dropped 49%. So it's got the best retention of a Marvel movie in 10 years.
So we're coming up on the 4th weekend.
Yeah.
Right now as of recording.
But it's not dropping. It's incredible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's
So
the word of mouth is great, and it's a fantastic experience.
And so rewatchable. I'm actually trying to watch. So I didn't get a chance to watch 1 and 2 before it. I was too busy. Yeah, for my second watch, I'm going to try to watch 1, 2 holiday special and 3.
We were just I'm so familiar with them. More
I haven't
so
watched
than
2 in
other
a
things.
while.
Yeah, I think.
In fairness.
I mean, I guess it's been a while too since we watched 2, but it still just sticks with me. Like
there's so many lines of dialogue that tie directly that I want to do it as a trilogy.
Sure, yeah,
like,
no, I get it.
Consciously.
Yeah.
But like it's been insane because every week is like 5 movies.
Sure.
But I think it'll have a long enough run because of that lack of drop off. Even if I see it in a smallish house,
right?
I want to try to like, you know, even just holiday special going in to be fun.
Right.
So yeah, the drop off's been great. Speaking of box office, Fast X opened this week, and the box office in the everywhere but America was stronger than here, which is almost the exact trajectory each of them has been. Starting with 8, they've each gotten bigger overseas, and they've gotten a little bit smaller here. This is the biggest differential between domestic and
American audiences are starting to care less about fast movies.
Whereas international are
they're finally catching up.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, and it's probably because they think Americans love it.
Maybe.
And that's sort of a big thing.
Yeah,
you know?
like what's the film culture? So it opened strong enough, but with the need of international audience. I'm very curious about that because Vin announced on the carpet there's going to be 3 Fast 10s. So it's Fast 10 2 and Fast 10 3, which I hope gets called Fast
really?
Triple X is my hope.
They're going to, so instead of just going to 11.
They're doing, no, it ends with Fast 10, but Fast 10 Part 3.
I know, but that's what I'm getting at. Like,
yes.
So instead of going to 11, they're going to Fast 10 Part 2.
Yeah. And then Fast 10 Part 3.
I mean, as a video game player,
great.
It's not entirely foreign to me. The way that
I played Final Fantasy.
Or I haven't, but I'm thinking of like Assassin's Creed, for example, where it's like there were 5 games before Assassin's Creed 3 came out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I just hope it's Fast Triple X so we can have Xander Cage and Dominic Toretto meet.
Don't put that evil out there.
He's the big bad the whole time, and it's actually about family, but it's about his twin brother, Xander Cage, who's been running this entire family into the ground from the beginning.
You listen, I still haven't seen, I now have like 6 more of them to go.
Dude, I'm so jealous.
And you are making it, you're putting them further and further away from me potentially ever watching.
All right, patrons, whoever gets crowned the horse next month.
Oh, so our current gift horse actually wrote and said, hey, so if I ask you to watch Fast 9, will you have to watch all of them? And I said, you can say that if you want. You can pick that by all means. If you win the Unpunchable gift horse and you want to pick those movies, you can pick them, but know that I might not get to it like anytime soon. I'm just putting that out there.
One movie and we just chip away at it.
If you picked the next movie, then I would watch.
You've seen through 5.
1 through 5, and then 5 is they're so bad.
Okay, whoever gift horses, if you can't think of anything, I'm not saying what to do.
Don't put this. Let them. It's about them.
Think of anything,
not you.
If they can't think of something, I'm just saying he's got ready.
Also, it's not fair because then you don't have to rewatch it because you've already seen it,
and then
so you have less.
I've seen 6 5 times.
There was I saw a I don't fucking know. I'm old. Is it a reel or a TikTok or a vid or a
short or a Vine,
a Facebook watchable, where somebody's posted a video like, oh, I went to a Fast and the Furious party. And I thought it was going to be like a party in which we all just like talk about it, we dress. It's like, but it's actually a screening of the 9 Fasts and the Furious movies at the exact same time. So they
they
segregate the screen into the 9,
so
like
much.
3 across the top, 3 across the middle, 3 across the bottom, and all the movies play at the exact same time. So if you haven't seen any of them, you can watch them all at the exact same time.
That's my dream.
That's a nightmare.
I want that so bad.
The
amount of stimuli that is.
ADD.
The amount of family. The sheer volume of Corona. Oh, I love it so much. I'm very excited for you to get to 10 because I think that Jason Momoa's Dante is my favorite Joker performance.
I've been hearing a lot of people saying like, "Oh, he played Joker better than other Jokers."
But he literally like took a little bit of each Joker in the way that the comic book does it. Sometimes, like when there's a big popular run in a movie, sometimes the comic characters change.
Right.
It feels like Jason Momoa did that, but with like his body, and it feels like he's playing all of the Jokers at once. The thing that made me think of it is like if he had all 9 of those screens, they're different Jokers. That's Momoa in this, and it's amazing.
Yeah, that's
it also made me want the Lobo even more. Like he was basically Lobo in it, and it's delightful.
Interesting.
And then going from box office to box office, Flash predictions are looking insane. Looks like it's going to open upwards of $120 million opening weekend.
How do they predict that?
I think they go to places and they go like, how much are you interested in this movie? And then like they tally all that up because like they're actually saying the opposite about Elemental. And Elemental is estimated to open at half of what Lightyear did, which would be like the death nail for Pixar. Because Pixar was already worried after Lightyear opened at 51, 52.
Right.
They're saying Elemental's tracking for 26. I don't know how, like, that's rough. I love Pixar.
Yeah, I mean, I also love Pixar, even though I have not seen all of the movies. But whenever I see them, I guess I'm part of the problem because I'm not going to go and see it in a theater like anytime soon. We just don't go to the theater a ton. And after our Guardians experience, which we'll talk about.
I was really worried you weren't going to see it.
The streak, by the way, it continues. That's for impressive.
Guardians. I need ArcLight to reopen just for you.
For me too.
Just for you.
But in any case, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah. Like I'm not going, but whenever I watch them, I go like, oh God, like they are so good at this.
Yeah, they're
so good at whatever this formula is.
And Soul was one of my favorites ever, and it's like the newest, and got nothing.
One of the ones I haven't seen.
It's. I think it might have passed Toy Story for me, like, which is saying a lot. But yeah, so it's tracking poorly, and Flash is tracking exceptionally, which further makes my belief that other than LA and New York, not a lot of people pay attention to the entertainment news. Like, I feel like everybody out here is like, I won't see it because of Ezra, and then I'm like, I don't know if that matters to a lot of people.
Yeah, or it's they just don't. Yeah, like you said, they don't know. There's no.
They might have heard it, and they're like, oh, 2 years ago.
By the way, like, if I'm not mistaken, Ezra's doing press for it.
Yeah, which is that's the shocker to me, but I'm along for the ride.
Yeah, I don't know. Here's the thing. I was trying to talk with Alexandra about this too the other day. Where we were just talking about like, well, this person did this person, because we're talking about Jonathan Majors and all of this stuff, and like how like they're removing his name from they're removing even the character name.
That was my next story.
Oh yeah. But like, and this is all I'm gonna say, and I'm not defending any of these people's actions at all, so don't fucking at me, bro. But like, I've mentioned this, I think, on this program as well before. Like, we all live in a world where Mike Tyson is a beloved household name.
Yeah.
And he's got a cartoon, and he's got like, right, and we love him in comedies, right? And he's done atrocious shit. Like, we need to allow people to make mistakes and grow. And both of the things that have occurred by both Ezra Miller and Jonathan Majors allegedly are atrocious.
Yeah.
But we also don't know who these people are. We don't know where they are now. We don't know where they've been. You know, like I'm more akin to be like, well, I guess I'm kinder to Ezra, because I'm like, well, they're clearly not well in a way that we might not have all of the, you know, like the understanding of.
See, I'm the opposite. I feel like they have so much data on the things they did, and like they were multiple felonies, and then we don't know the facts about Jonathan Majors at all. And I feel like like there's not been footage, there's not been any statements released. Like they've been very like private about it.
But I think that might also be because of the types of crimes.
Sure.
But also it's like it's just one of those things where it's like, I'm not saying that either one of these people are fucking well and fine, but like just because somebody is out doing like press or doing whatever it is their job is, you know, until DC or these people personally like speak with us and let us know, we all are just speculating.
That's my big thing is
we all are just speculating, and like, I don't know, like for all we know, Ezra's been in like a fucking facility and has atoned and is, you know, the sad reality is that like the our prison system isn't going to
Oh,
work.
dude, yeah.
And they're not going to have.
I think the even more sad reality is in 2023, not only is the prison system broken, but the societal system of contrition is broken. Like,
sure.
I think.
Yeah, that's the
You know
point
what I
I
mean?
was
Like-
getting at, where I was like, we're not going to, like, if somebody, Fox News just settled with fucking, Dominion
Right.
for $175 million.
There are no ramifications for the money, but there's ramifications for the public opinion.
And we as a society didn't say that was enough for
Right.
your crimes, but we're not the ones who the crimes, it's
the justice system we know is broken. I
Right.
think the societal system following that.
Yeah.
Fucked.
So that's why it's fucking complicated and it's unfortunate because the Flash looks so fun.
Yeah.
And it looks so good.
Yeah.
And it's going to be hard to watch.
And it's 99% not problematic people.
well,
Do you know what I mean? Like
on screen as far as we know.
Yeah, as far as we know. But I'm
Yeah.
saying like everyone that isn't him, I've heard great. I met Andy Muschietti, lovely guy. I don't know anything bad about him. I want to support him.
Right.
So my issue, Michael Keaton seems great. Like it's the rest.
I know. It's tell you what, it's really hard to be, and that people also say like, man, they have to do a better job of like. I'm like, that's not how this works.
No.
Like, it's not like all right, listen, we're gonna cast you, but it might be in the future. Like, hey, we're thinking about casting someone for Fantastic Four. We're gonna comb everything in your
Right.
entire history. It's gonna be like trying to become a state trooper,
Right.
where
Yeah.
like they have to interview your
It also gets real Minority Reporty real quick.
Yeah.
Like how do you possibly go
100%.
like you might have committed a crime in the future? You've got some
Right.
bad blood. Like it's a mess.
Also, speaking of Minority Report, how do we justify, the evil that fucking Tom Cruise does
Right.
just by being the head of a horrible
What's
organization?
a little kidnapping on Mission Impossible 6 looks so good?
There's a lot. There's a
a
lot.
lot.
Where's Shelley?
Fuck.
Where is Shelley,
I don't
Tom?
think she ever got found.
But so she's no, of course not. But like that, it's art's not great. We all suck. It's not great. Everybody sucks.
I literally, one of my like closest people in my life, whenever I mention anyone, her first response to anything is, didn't they? And like,
Right,
and she
yeah,
always
right,
has a thing. And I'm always like, I don't know what you want me to do with that data. Like, what do I do?
Right.
Because
Right.
I ran into Rob Lowe at the Guardians premiere, and I've been like sober curious of late, and I've been drinking a lot less, and I've been actually like dabbling with the idea of like, when I commit to something, I do
One
it.
of us.
I'm dabbling, but when I commit to something, I do it. Like I've dropped
Right.
9% body fat. I'm down 22 pounds. Like when I commit to
Just by
something,
not
like,
drinking?
No.
Oh,
I've been working out like a
doing that
motherfucker,
shit, right.
and also being sober curious. But I committed to losing 25 pounds, which
Right.
is not fucking easy.
No.
And I'm doing it. But like I know if I
you've lost it, I'm starting to find it.
oh no, here
Yeah,
you go.
I'm on
gift.
the other. I'm on. I lost a bunch of weight when I moved in
And
a
it's
year
slowly
ago.
creeping back
and,
in.
Yeah,
But like
Find all your-
I wasn't like 80 pounds overweight, so me losing 25 is hard.
Tough.
It's like
Yeah, of
a
course.
commitment.
Yeah.
And like I'm getting from not like mega double digits body fat down to single digits. That's way harder than like
Oh, I get it. Yes,
But-
the more you got, the easier it is to lose.
So the thing is, I know that I have the willpower that if I chose to be sober,
Right.
I could. And right now I'm just sober curious. I'm dabbling, and I was in Rome, I had wine, but like I've never been sober curious. I've never
Right.
once in my life been like
What if I didn't drink?
right,
As we've established,
it's such
you're
a
Irish.
part of my culture. Like I legitimately, as a Boston person, I spent 5 years looking at people sober, being like, but why? And now I'm in a spot where I'm like thinking about it. In Rob Lowe's books, both of them talk about his sobriety heavily.
Right.
And his kid just celebrated like 7 years, and his kid's like 30.
Right.
So they were both there, and I thanked him for basically like putting that out there
Right.
and giving me something where like I love Chris Traeger. I
Right,
love
sure.
So,
Yeah.
but as soon as I mentioned this to my friend, she's immediately like, "Didn't he like have a thing with like 16-year-olds?" I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"My point
Yes.
is that it's helping this part of my life."
Yes.
And it's so hard to explain to people that are black and white thinking that like there are different versions of people, and there's different anchors to how you see them.
Right.
It doesn't make them good universally. But they did do a good thing for
Right.
how I need them,
Right.
and they do good art.
And we have all done something atrocious.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's like it's so hard to navigate.
Yeah.
Again, this is a more nuanced conversation,
Well,
of like
of
not
course.
forgiveness, but
No,
like
but-
it's fascinating.
And I think the big takeaway here is that in order to survive living in Boston, you just have to be drunk.
You just gotta be drunk. It's really cold a lot of the time, and it's really aggressive. And well, our final story, we were gonna talk about the Kang thing, which we just touched on.
Yeah. Oh, but the specifics of that, because I didn't
Yeah,
actually finish out.
they took the names.
They removed Jonathan Major's name and the character's name from all descriptions of the movie. They just said like, oh,
An evil or something.
new foe. Yeah, like they. Oh boy, you have a movie coming out called Kang Dynasty,
And Loki's this,
and he's in. Yeah, we saw at the end. Yeah.
It's gonna be really messy. I hope we have some facts by the time Loki's out.
I mean, they're not. If we do, they're not going to be good facts. but
Yeah, it's hard to prove innocent. It's hard. Yeah, they can't factually show.
And it's like we all have to decide if this person, if we want to watch this art, we want to see this person work. What do they need to do to
absolve
to pay their pen? No, there's no absolve.
I'm sorry, you're right.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
wrong word,
It's
but
just like to prove to us that they have atoned in some way that is enough for us to go, all right, fine. Because we don't do it with many movie stars. Many movie stars, we just go, it sucks. I hate it. This person's awful. But fucking Mission Impossible or whatever the thing, like. So
sometimes you kill 2 people on vacation. You just keep making movies in the 80s. It's
I'm
a thing that happens.
I'm a pro wrestling fan. I am very familiar with being a fan of incredibly problematic people.
Yeah.
It is sort of the brand.
Yeah. Art, guys. It's messy. Well, that is the penultimate thing. The last thing was Jeff Loveness. Speaking of Kang, Jeff Loveness was taken off of Kang Dynasty, so Kang Dynasty is currently writerless.
Oh, that's the writer. Okay.
Yeah, the writer was just removed. The week after they started taking the titles off.
Maybe because Marvel came in and busted his office like, oh, hey, so we love what you've done so far. Can you make a Kang Dynasty without Kang in it? And then he was like,
I quit.
He was like, I'm out of here. I can't do this shit no more.
We're calling it Avengers Dynasty. But yeah, that is going to do it for...
After this past 2 weeks, they're going to be like, we're going to call it Star-Lord Dynasty. Can we Rocket Dynasty, maybe?
Perhaps there's some time travel.
The Teefs Dynasty.
Floor the Dynasty. But yeah, it has been a crazy couple weeks over in pop culture.
There's we have sad news. I don't ever get to bring news.
Oh.
But this morning,
today's news, yeah.
This morning, I just woke up, and after having just watched it last night, I'm trying to remember the actor's name now.
Ray.
Yeah, say it.
Ray Winstone passed away. Sorry. Ray Stevenson passed away. I was thinking about Ray Winstone earlier. Ray Stevenson passed away.
Right. He was the villain in RRR.
Yeah.
He was in Thor. He's in
the upcoming Ahsoka.
Yeah.
He's been like in every fandom.
Yeah. And real inspiring story to me because he's one of those actors who's been in the game for a long time, but he only just had success at like 47.
Yeah.
Like he just started actually being in like mainstream products like in his late 40s and died at 58.
58.
Unknown causes, which is always suspect.
Yeah. He's a big guy. So I always thought
big.
He's like 6'4" and like he's I meant like
I thought you meant
I always think like heart stuff when someone's like big. Cause he was like Volstagg. Like he's a big dude. Cause like he wasn't like overweight big, he was large all the way around. So I hate to say hoping, but I hope it was something that was like because of his size.
Natural.
Natural adjacent.
You also don't know what people are dealing with.
Never.
For all we know, this dude's out there performing with some horrible terminal illness that we just were never privy to.
Yeah, look at, what we went through with
Chadwick.
Yeah, Chadwick, as well as more recently the actor Lance from John Wick. Lance Reddick? Lance Henriksen? he was...
Haven't seen John Wick yet.
Oh, you haven't seen John Wick yet. That doesn't help.
I'm Wickless.
You're Wickless. But yeah, he passed away like suddenly and was like the picture of health they thought, and then he'd been fighting something, and it was in the middle of the night. It was 2 days before John Wick came out.
Interesting.
And then in the movie, like it was really hard because he would have been at that premiere. Like he flew in for the premiere, and then so like that sort of thing just does happen. Yeah. So Ray. I actually had the pleasure of meeting in South Africa. When I was over there, I visited my friend, and she was on Black Sails, and he was the villain of that season.
Right.
He played Blackbeard, and he and I had so many good conversations about like whiskey around the world, because like he had been
can't do that if you're sober. See, argument against.
See, there it is,
one
guys.
Against.
What do I do if I don't know the taste of beautiful South African whiskey? But he was like this really impossibly intimidating big man, just talking about like, and then I went here and had this whiskey.
I will say that is like, if I were to just look at him and meet him, he's Australian,
Northern Irish.
Oh, he's Irish, right? Irish actor. Yeah, he's just one of those people when you look at him and you go like, if this guy's gonna get into it about any topic, it's probably gonna be whiskey.
Oh, I can read the guy. Yeah, I was like, that's what I want to talk about.
Some guys you can look at and you know, like, oh, they know a lot about cigars,
right? Right? Yeah, he's got a whiskey vibe.
Yeah, you look at him and you go, this guy knows his shit about whiskey.
We definitely had a good talk about it because we were at this. The dollar there is worth so much, so we went to this restaurant, and I remember I got a steak, a 12-year Jameson, and like a couple other things, and it was like $2.50. And I was like, I'm gonna look at the menu again. So I started getting like the whiskeys I'll never be able to afford here.
Right.
Because I was like, this is like a 75 cents. So he and I started talking about whiskey, and I remember him just talking about art and the love of art. And he had just been Punisher and Volstagg.
Right.
So we started talking about comics and the fandom and stuff. And he was just like so open to it, but still like what's it called, actor? Like a day-to-day workforce actor. Like he was still a guy that auditioned.
Yes.
Like, so we were talking about like auditioning for stuff. And I was like, it blew my mind because I had been leaving the world of acting that he'd been the Punisher and he was still auditioning. And like, he was just explaining like, he loves it so much. He would happily audition the rest of his life.
Right.
He never wants to be in a position where people think it's just owed to him. Well, and so when we lost him, now that he's hit that stride, like, fuck.
Yeah. I feel like, especially you have to assume are like a global phenomenon.
Yeah.
In a way that like, that was going to be a new door opened.
Big not just Star Wars?
Not just, because I think he already is fine in America.
Oh, I see what you're saying, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, the Star Wars, the Marvel, like, he's working.
Yeah.
Now add in the fact that, like, oh, this we have our go-to white guy.
Right.
And, when we need an imperialist.
Yeah,
or we need a colonizer.
Look at that guy. Yeah.
Or like an old Western cowboy that we're going to put in this, Hong Kong cinema kind of space. Like, yeah, the dude was really talented. Yeah,
it's a true bummer. But before we leave today, I do want to give a special shout out to a comic, which I haven't talked about in this show in a while. But it was, I feel like number ones are very, very approachable to people.
I thought you were going to talk about the Spider-Man hate that's going on online right now.
Oh God, it's bad, dude. That comic is rough, and I collect, so I'm buying it.
Wait, is it as bad as the internet says, or because whenever something happens, if you're not familiar, somebody has died in the Marvel universe, and whenever that happens, generally it's always going to be like people hate it and people love it. And I've only heard people.
It's pretty rough. The comic's pretty bad.
Is it that bad?
It's pretty bad.
Oh, like, I always assume like, nerd's gonna nerd.
No. It's I'm buying it because I collect it, and every time I do, I feel like I'm like contributing to the problem. Like I'm like,
you're like,
voting.
Can I buy this used?
Can I just not have this count towards this comic? Can I give you the money, but can it count towards Batman? Like, it's very bad. And the art, like, it's John Romita Jr., so I feel also bad because the writing's so bad I can't even like the artist I enjoy. Like, usually I can excuse one or the other, but I'm not even enjoying the art because the writing is so bad. But I was going to recommend a number one that I really fucking dig. It's over at Image, and it's called Something Epic. And I usually only read like number ones of Boom and Image if there's like a decent amount of word of mouth, or I pick up like 1, 2, and 3 because I always want to try new things.
Right.
And I feel like that's the place to do it.
Yeah, I can't. I rarely, obviously I don't buy any like single floppies anymore, but back when I would never buy a number one until
you heard a couple
months, or it's until a couple months, because I
will it live?
One is never enough for me to be hooked. Usually, like usually I'm very one of those people who I'm like, oh, it's like comics is too short. Like the format.
So that's what I'm saying. Is I usually don't recommend something at one, even though I read all of Image number ones.
Right.
I usually is so fucking good.
Yeah.
It's called Something Epic. And it's about basically how we perceive things in reality. Like dogs can see different things than we can. Like they can smell different things. And this is about someone who, when you're born, the way you connect your neuroplasticity makes everyone under 2 technically a creative genius. Because the way their brain maps things, we're all creatively charged, and it dwindles over time.
Right.
So this is a kid who that never went away. And so he's like 10 or 11. And basically his creativity is so much so that he's able to see things that are other artists' creativity pulled from nothing. So he's able to see the world of infinite possibility and basically every variable. So it's combining like the butterfly effect and the power of creativity, but it makes him like so socially inept to handle the world because it's so overwhelming.
It sounds like an autistic
very
sort of character, or like an exploration of that. Something on the spectrum.
So good.
It sounds like your kind of shit.
It's
like
very much my kind of shit.
Like a Koi comic.
And I love the format because like one page will be one style. I don't know either the creator or the
I was going to say, do we know any of the people?
Brand new to me.
Oh,
and that's also exciting. And so like page to page, they'll change like the art styles and art format, and he's the same because it's pure creativity.
It's about his mind.
And it's fucking incredible. And then I was already like singing his praises. I was already loving it.
Right.
And then I got to the very last page, and they used the back of the fucking comic as a page because the whole thing is about breaking the format.
Are they allowed to do that?
I didn't think so. So there's no ad in the back. The comic, I was like, is this a cliffhanger? And then I turned it over. There's more to the back of the comic.
That's risky.
Genius.
But also, it's a major spoiler. Don't flip your comic over.
Don't flip it over because that's
the
literal end. But I was like blown away, and then I was like, "You just fucking changed the game."
That is really interesting.
It's a dope book.
I'm. How many are out already?
Just one.
Just one.
That's
so
why I'm
far.
saying I rarely do this. but it's called something epic, and I'm in.
It'll take me at least 4 months to get that.
And then
trade,
you'll try those 1 through 3, and you'll
or just the trade.
But yeah, I was that
It
impressed.
sounds like a fun thing. Also, if it's like a new writer, and you said this is Boom?
Image.
Oh, Image. Yeah, new writer, new artist. That's always fun.
Very, very impressive.
I was gonna ask you like if it feels like there's an inspiration there, but you say the art changes so drastically that
there's some characters that look like familiar. Like there's like, in all the spread you'll recognize like that kind of looks like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Like,
got it.
But enough that it's just creation.
Interesting.
And it's fucking genius. And it's talking about how people pull creativity from the ether, but he can see the ether.
So I was gonna ask because you mentioned something there about like he can see other people's art.
So basically the remnants of other people's ideas they left and didn't use. So like it leaves like a trail, like a snail trail.
Okay.
It's fucking dope. And it's so dense. First issue, I was like, whoa.
Yeah. And it sounds too dense for me, but I'm going to give it a shot.
Some pages are like text driven where like him and his relationship with his mom is lovely, but then you'll turn the page and it'll be like a double page spread. And then it's just writing like in Saga where it's just fucking poetry.
Yeah, I love that.
And then you turn it again. You're like, I'm fucking tired. It took me like 40 minutes to read. Like it's a lot of book.
Is it sort of thing where you finish a page and you go, wait, I got to redo that.
It's I finish a page and I'm like, I know what it said. Let me process how I felt about it.
Let's turn this back.
Let me flip this over. Yeah, it's fucking great. And then also it's a second issue this week of a book called Giant Cockjew. And it is literally horny.
I'm gonna need you to spell that.
Yep, you heard me. Kokju. The Giant Cockjew is a horny kaiju that invades.
Okay, that's why I needed you to spell it.
Yep.
Because it sounds like cock Jew.
Like it's supposed to be kaiju with cock in it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not anti-Semitic.
The Jew part of it.
It's right there. It's J-U.
Problematic.
It's written by a Jewish writer, so I think he's allowed.
I know. Okay, giant.
So Giant Cockjew is like a kaiju invasion comic, and it's dealing with global warming and very like topical issues.
But in a way that's absurd.
And that's why it's lovely because it's like it's saying stuff that would feel really heavy-handed every 5th page. But in those 4 pages in between, it's literally a giant kaiju fucking buildings as a way to do like a commentary and gentrification.
Okay.
It is so funny.
I am also going to talk about a giant kaiju fucking buildings in our Patreon-only pod.
Guys, if that's not a teaser for the best Patreon episode, I don't know what is. But yeah, those are my 2 recs for the week. I haven't done comic recs in a while, but those are issues 1 and 2, so I feel like they're very approachable.
Yeah.
Check out Something Epic and Giant Cockjew. And it's the team behind the old Deadpool. So it's Jerry Duggan and Scott Kiblosh. So if you like Deadpool, then you'll love Giant Cockjew.
The creators of Deadpool. We have a hotline call to take before we do our unboxing, I guess you can call it.
Yeah.
Hey Coy, hey producer Jake, this is Gilbert up in the Bay Area, and I apologize if you can hear my fan. It's a bit warm today, so I just want to cool off. I also want to take a moment to apologize to Jake because I didn't mean to single you out. That was more or less trying to be a response to Superman fans in general, because a lot of them only want the Superman of the past. They don't like anything new. They only like well-tread ideas, as I say, and I think that's a reason why people think Superman is boring, is because they don't take risks and they don't do new things. But other characters are allowed to have new things done. But that's not the main reason I am calling, leave this message. I also wanted to tell you a thing about a collectible regret I had. There was something on Amazon I saw, and it wasn't that expensive, but I couldn't afford it at the time. Things were, a little bit tight, so I didn't buy it. And now I get to relive that regret every couple weeks when these 2 guys that do a podcast open DC cards, and neither of them know how to pronounce Mr. Mixel-Spitlek. Just teasing you guys. You guys have a good week. Bye.
Gilbert short.
Mixel-Spitlek?
So if you're not in the Discord, you got in the Discord, because after that last episode, somebody posted a clip from Supergirl with the character.
Oh shit!
Just saying the name. And by the way, even the way that he just pronounced it, I feel like he didn't get
There's
it right.
There's so many different ways.
But when you hear it on that episode of Supergirl and then you read it as he says it, it makes perfect sense. Mizzle-Plitalik or something like that. Mitzel-Plitalik, something to that extent.
I'm gonna have to.
Anyways, that is fantastic. So it sounds to me like, a couple weeks ago we were talking about our collectible regrets. It sounds like Gil there had the opportunity to buy some of the DC Cosmic cards that we have been opening, thanks to friend of the podcast, Mark Allen Heiliger, who is the host of The Hell With This, which is a podcast you should go check out if you're a fan of movies and breaking down movies. We have a big giant box of DC Cosmic cards from, we do this every week, and I forget what year. 91? Yeah, 1991.
91. That
we have been opening 4 packs a week now to try to complete a set. And if we complete a set, we will give them away to an iTunes review at random to the victor once we complete a full set. So listen, Gil, you might still get them if you make sure you leave a really fantastic review of KoiCast over on Apple Podcasts. But without further ado, we should probably bust some
Let's
open.
do it. I'm excited.
I have my spreadsheet here. We are 58.42% the way through.
We're more than halfway.
More than halfway through making an entire set, and I have added those deluxe hologram cards to the additional 10 cards that weren't on the original.
So we are truly more than halfway, not even with an asterisk.
Yeah, so there's 190 cards in total.
Okay.
This week we're opening up cards in Wonder Woman cases.
First time Wonder Woman. All right.
I'm going to bust up in my first pack. You can go ahead.
I am ready.
Go ahead.
My first card is Classic Cover Action Comics #1, which is 169.
Wait, don't we have that one already? Is that this? I think we have a few of those. Wait, 169?
Yeah.
No.
I didn't think we had this cover.
Oh, we have All American Comics.
Yeah.
So that is a brand new one.
Yes.
So it's classic cover.
Action Comics #1.
Classic cover. Action Comics #1. That's a new one.
It looks
Action
great.
Comics. Let me move my microphone so I can
they
type.
zoomed in on Superman's face, and I've never seen it zoomed in digitally before.
Like on the back of the card?
Yep. It's rough. It's real rough. It's
well,
just,
because it's small.
you don't zoom in on this. It
You don't zoom
was
on
a mistake.
A print.
It was a mistake.
Can I see?
It's real bad.
You know what it looks like? He looks like Solomon Grundy.
Yeah, like the side growl is worse. Like his main feature of his face is like the frown line.
Actually, do you want to? He looks like a Muppet.
He does look like a Muppet.
He's got like Muppet
I've just
features.
never looked that closely at that tiny little image.
Alrighty.
All right.
Well, right off of the bat, the first card that I have is one of the 10 holograms.
Oh.
On the very top, I have Wave Rider, who I have no idea who this is.
I love that a hologram is someone just unknown to you. I don't, the name doesn't sound familiar, admittedly.
Here, look at the picture. Wave Rider. So I will say this as I hand the card over. Speaking of Gil, we got your package. Very kind. He sent us something here at the Dragon's Den and a little goodie box. And one of the things he got us.
I do not know this man.
I'm sorry to this man. One of the things that Gil got us is the DC Comics Encyclopedia New Edition because he was so upset at how little
It's time to look up Wave Rider.
I knew of DC Comics. So I'm going to go ahead and just use this right now really quickly.
Beautiful edition.
We're not going to do this for every character we don't know.
No, but right now there's Chris in the book.
Let's see if Wave Rider has like something written about in the main section.
2021 Encyclopedia, Michael Janin art on the cover and back. It is a stunning edition. I like all the art chosen. I haven't looked at like any of the words yet, but they picked some really great stuff when I flip through it.
Wave Rider is not in the oh, there he is. Okay, so some of them, it's not entirely in alphabetical because they have to fit like a full page.
Oh, I was like, what a
for
weird
some
choice.
people.
That makes sense.
So Wave Rider is a time traveler.
Ooh.
Wave Rider's ability to surf the time stream enables him to discover secrets hidden in the past and also gain knowledge of future events. He has sort of a Silver Surfer-y kind of art vibe in the it's there.
Okay,
on the bottom,
I see.
right?
Yeah.
Debut was in May of 91. So he's a brand. So when this,
That is a brand. That's why he's hologram. He's brand new.
so when this set
trying to
of
push
cards came out, he was a brand new character. He debuted in Armageddon 2001 #1.
he was a brand new Silver Surfer ripoff.
Michael John Carter. Well, I didn't say he's a ripoff.
No, but he's very similar.
I'm trying to give you the visual of how they draw him. Yeah, not familiar. Never heard of him. Also, there's already multiple versions of Wave Rider. It says like the original Wave Rider was this person, but maybe that's just in canon in the story. Like
That makes
the
sense.
mantle has been handled on.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. We now have let's see, what number card is this one? This looks like it is number 10 of the holograms.
Right. Okay. I know this one is brand new because it's one of my favorite DC characters, and I would have remembered if we had him. It is number 31.
Yep, that is a new one. You are correct.
Animal Man. Fucking love Animal Man.
Animal Man.
Big old fan.
There's something about... Wait, does Animal Man exist in the DC universe of characters?
In what way would he? What
Like, I don't...
He's
like,
a Vertigo character, which is now owned by DC.
But I guess I mean, like, yeah, I don't think
I've never seen him, like, hanging out with Superman.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think that's the first character that I'm familiar with that I don't feel like is, like, he's sort of a because we're not getting, like, Watchmen characters in this.
Oh, that is a good point.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and I hope they keep him, like, over there. Like, I want James Gunn to make this guy happen, but I'd love to just
keep it separate. Yeah.
Huh.
Interesting.
That's a good point.
Well, another new one.
All right.
My next one up is card number 77, which we already have Vixen. So there's our first duplicate of today.
All right. I got another new one because I would remember this guy's face anywhere.
I like that when you say that because I hope you're wrong every time.
Number 97.
Ed is a new one.
Hoongan.
Wait, what?
Hoongan.
Bless you.
Houngan. Houngan. Hoongan.
Woongan. Okay.
I mean, he's got a voodoo doll. I don't know what his deal is. He certainly looks interesting.
Yeah, he looks like is maybe mildly racist from the 90s?
He looks like a Hoongan, but that name even saying it out loud.
H-O-U-W?
Yeah.
W.
H-O.
Oh, I thought for some reason I wrote W. Like
no.
wound.
Houngan. And he's voodoo dolling Nightwing in his 90s costume in the same image. There's a lot going on.
Oh, interesting.
Little Nightwing voodoo doll. Yeah.
I like that. I like that he's
got a specific little voodoo action.
Also, he's wearing a costume.
Oh, very much so.
If you could just make voodoo dolls of your enemies,
wouldn't you do it subtly?
What? You don't need to get dressed up for it.
No, and you got like a full-on headdress.
You don't even need to be there.
No.
You could just be in your underwear at home
watching TV,
in your PJs,
just doing all sorts of work.
Just being a supervillain.
That's what I'd do.
I mean, that is a supervillain yet to be written. Just like a supervillain whose powers don't ever actually mean he has to see a superhero, which means he doesn't need a costume.
No, that's a very David Fincher villain. He's just tucked in at home. He's just doing the Kevin Spacey thing. He's actually, now that I'm looking at it, he's had all the Teen Titans voodoo dolls behind him. I see Beast Boy. I see, we got Cyborg. Yeah.
That's a fun one. I like him.
Yeah, it's fun.
Alrighty, I have another Great Battles card. Let's see if it's a new one. Card number 149 is not a new one. It's card B of the Legends Great Battle, which again, little familiarity.
All right. I've got I believe, different take on Blue Beetle, Silver Age Blue Beetle, number 2.
Wait, card number 2?
Yeah.
Yes, that completes our Blue Beetle.
Yes, I thought this was the final Blue Beetle.
Silver Age. Oh, nope. Auto Finish is writing Flash, but we already have Flash.
We do.
Blue Beetle. Well, I have another back-to-back brand newie. Card number 102 is he's got to be a villain because he's holding Superman's cape as if he just murdered him. Parasite. Are you familiar with Parasite?
I am actually like that character.
Big purple man. It looks like maybe he is sort of a toxic.
He's actually the big bad of the current run of Superman that just rebooted with number 1. He is the current big bad in Superman comics.
Interesting. Parasite. Yeah, I don't know. Does he look different? Because I don't recall a character as being a giant purple man in underwear.
He looks pretty similar. Yeah, that's kind of his vibe.
Just curious if it's like one of those things where I've read something, but doesn't the characters change kind of thing? But maybe not. All right, Parasite. What do you got?
I got Dr. Light, which I do believe is also new, because I know this character. She is number 45.
Number 45? Yes, a new character. Wow, we're doing
crushing it.
Dr. Light, L-I-G-H-T?
Yep.
Yet another in a long line of DC doctors. Remember 2 weeks ago, we learned how many characters
There's so many doctors
in the DC universe.
You know
what?
Doctors? Not this week, but one week we should just go through the D's in the fucking encyclopedia and how many doctors there are.
In the new one? In this is like, yeah. Or just the doctor section.
Just a doctor week.
What is Dr. Light's deal? I'm not familiar with that character.
Dr. Light is vaguely, but like she's not around a lot, or at least presently. This brilliant Japanese scientist took a shine to superheroics, and a bizarre burst of light transformed her into the incredible Dr. Light. Her knowledge of solar power gives her an extra edge, manipulating light to the utmost, from illuminating a city to projecting unstoppable laser beams. Her only weakness is a total darkness, for without a power source, it's lights out for this superheroine.
So her weakness is the dark.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
And she could like throw lasers. Right. I've only seen her as like a background character in like teen books and like Because I also thought Dr. Light was male, because he's a big factor in a certain like crossover book. But anyway.
Right. Well, here you go. I have the third of the 3 Lex Luthors, card number 27.
Oh, shit.
Modern age Lex Luthor. He is so upset, kicking a globe. He also looks very old on this card. Like,
yeah.
And remember, modern age, these cards came out in 1991.
30-year modern age.
He has like a kingpin kind of look to him. He's like kind of just really, really big.
Yeah.
Big suit. Modern age Lex Luthor.
Don't know that.
What's your next?
I think, another new one. I've got number 33's Aquaman.
Number 33 is our first, and it does not seem that there is a Aquaman series.
Yeah, because
it's just Aquaman.
Wow. I love that there's 3 Blue Beetles and just Aquaman. And like the Silver Age Blue Beetle costume.
It shows you
rough.
It shows you how in 91 nobody
respected Aquaman.
Can I see the art of that card?
It's just fine. It is
it's just fine. That's that. There's him being Aquaman.
Sure is Aquaman.
It's not even is he the only color on that card?
No.
No, okay. I'm seeing
it's pretty muted though.
In fairness, I have terrible eyes and Coy and I sit about 10 feet apart.
Yeah. No, he's just
okay, yeah, I see.
He's just Fabioing.
Fabioing.
He's got long flowing blonde locks.
Alrighty. I think I have another duplicate here because I think we have once before. Oh no, it's not.
Oh.
It is a new character. It's incredible how many like generic superhero names there are because you just
you're like, this is familiar. Nope.
A character that I'm not familiar with. Well, I'm familiar with the visual. Looks like maybe sort of a Jean Grey kind of vibe. Raven.
Oh, Raven's great. Teen Titans.
Oh, that's it. Oh, that's Raven from Teen Titans.
Right. She's just usually darker. That's like very blown out. Like that's all white.
I was gonna say this looks like a
Phoenix ripoff. No, Raven's a badass.
Also in all white.
Yeah, no, Raven's usually the opposite color scheme.
Raven of Raven and Beast Boy.
Yeah. Like the Teen Titan.
Right. The Teen Titan. Got it. Again, that's how generic all superhero names eventually get to be, where we're just like, Wonder Man? What the fuck is a Wonder Man?
You know Raven, but the card is very misleading. So in fairness to you, that's not a good appropriation of what Raven is.
I like that the art in the background is, according to the back of the card, is Raven's soul self.
Oh,
that's her soul. So that's her self right there.
There's her soul self,
and then that's her soul self.
Got to be real about this.
That sounds like some third eye shit, right?
Very much so. That's some new age, like anti-vaxxer shit.
Okay, yes, never mind. You are correct. Those two things are similar.
Yeah,
but it's how sad is that? That I feel bad for the new age anti-vaxxers. Because the MAGA anti-vaxxers,
dude, when you go far enough left, you end up on the right.
Have stolen,
and far enough right, you end up on the left.
But they've stolen the anti-vax movement from the health gurus.
I haven't gone to Burning Man for 2 years because those same people. That's a big thing.
The MAGA anti-vaxxers aren't drinking kombucha.
No.
And doing stone and sound healing.
And how do you feel like those sound healers feel that when they look in the news, that's the voice of anti-vaxxing?
That's why I said I felt bad for
vexing.
them. Yeah,
that's fair.
I feel bad for
I don't
those.
love it.
I felt bad for the one group of idiots that the other group of idiots has stolen.
Bad a bad name for.
Has stolen their thunder.
I've got a card with an exclamation point, which makes me think we don't have it yet because I love a good exclamation point. 155.
155 is a new card according to the spreadsheet.
It is called Invasion.
Invasion D.
It is all caps with an exclamation point.
We do have A and C already.
Oh, this says Invasion card B.
At 157?
155.
Oh, I'm sorry. That is correct. That would be where B is. Yes.
Oh, good.
Invasion B. So that actually probably completes
our invasion.
Our invasion. Words are funny, you guys.
Exclamation points are great.
I have card 176 not far afterwards. Another classic cover that is gorgeous. The art on this is so fantastic. It is Adam, not to be confused with Adam Smasher, because I think originally he was just Adam.
Yep. And
it is him from Showcase Presents The Atom.
He's a big character. He's like Brandon Routh played him on TV.
Series 1, 176. Look at this cover. It's really quite gorgeous. In which he is pulling somebody or plugging in. No, I'm sorry. He's trapping somebody.
Oh.
In a glass bottle, in a swamp.
Oh, I know
somewhere.
that cover. Actually, know that cover. Yeah.
Yeah. And it says Battle of the Tiny Titans.
Adam's fun. Like he's very Ant-Man. He's got like a scientist backstory.
He looks, and he even looks like he's wearing Adam Smasher's
outfit.
Is there a lineage in DC?
I actually don't know.
From Adam to Adam Smasher?
I know Adam Smasher and I know Adam, but
Adam might be the original.
He's the grandson of.
Right.
I think Adam was the Henry Winkler character.
Exactly. Something to that extent. That's my guess. Adam and then Adam Smasher.
So this is funny. I know this one's new because remember earlier when I was like, I think of Dr. Light as a male.
Oh, because there is one?
I have male Dr. Light.
Interesting. What number is that?
This is number 92.
Number 92. Where are you at? Yep, there it is.
There's a very dark comic book where where Dr. Light does pretty unspeakable things in the comic books.
And that is it a different designation of Dr. Light?
Just says Dr. Light.
So there are 2 cards that just have the same designation of Dr. Light.
Yep, that is poorly named.
Interesting.
I guess, doctor is a gender-neutral term, and they are both named thusly. Dude,
clearly in the villain section.
Yeah.
Of this. Of this set, because the cards that precede and proceed it are Deadshot and Dr. Polaris.
So alphabetical within the villains.
That's my guess. Yep.
What's your next one?
And since we have not cheated and looked at the collector's guide
which
cards
has not been easy
that we have gotten, I don't know how they're doing this. Oh, look at him. You could try, but you can't see him. It's Peacemaker. Card number 69.
Oh, I hope that was must have been. I hope they shaped the entire deck around that.
Card number 69, Peacemaker, and this is the most Image Comics.
Oh, I love it so much.
It's so extra.
I love that card.
That is a really fantastic card of Peacemaker and that god-awful helmet that I love. It's such an uncool helmet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Nothing about that helmet makes him look tough.
And yet James Gunn did 10 of them. They all look great because it was the character.
It's just so goofy, but in the best way possible. So far, pretty good. I think I only had 2 duplicates in this pack. You had none?
I've still got 4 cards.
I know. But I'm just saying, so far, so good.
Yeah, we're crushing it. I've had none.
All right. What's your next card?
I know it's new because it's one of the most ridiculous costumes in comics. It is Nightwing in the 90s. 65.
65.
It's a preposterous outfit.
I love him. I love him.
It's fucking beautiful.
It is
This is what I want to see in 3D. I want to see this costume.
This is the only Nightwing costume that matters.
Yep.
Don't at me, bro.
Sorry, Tom Taylor and the new cool Nightwing. This is the badass.
If you don't give me yellow flappy wings.
What are we even doing here?
Yeah, it is a fantastic costume. Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably on my own, but I don't like the blue Nightwing logo.
I mean, I like it. I just love that.
The blue Nightwing logo. You know what? The blue Nightwing logo might be tarnished by
the Batman and Robin red Nightwing.
Maybe
where they kind of just made it, but red.
Maybe
that's fair. I mean, it's very sleek and it's badass. I also like garish.
That is a lovely card. I have a character. Oh, I have another double. We definitely have already gotten card number 94, Eclipso.
I remember that
because we talked about his magic eyeball.
Yep. I think I've got a new one because my oh my, does this guy's smile freak me out. Mr. Nebula.
That's a mirror. You're holding a mirror.
Oh, hey, it's me. 137.
137, Mr. Nebula. What's his deal?
Well, his height is variable, his weight is variable, his eyes are variable, and his hair is variable. Wouldn't another moon look just darling above this planet? Mr. Nebula, who possesses tremendous power, great philosophical vision, and unspeakably bad taste, certainly thinks that. With his terrain modifiers, which can alter the shape, color, or texture of any object, he travels the cosmos in his Nebula Mobile, redesigning entire worlds at a whim using his unique autistic sensibilities.
Wait. It says artistic?
Yeah.
Or autistic?
Artistic.
Oh, okay. You pronounced it in a very bizarre
way. It's in quotes and italicized, I tried to make it like...
Got it. I get it.
And then the only spot in the Milky Way safe from nebula's interference is Las Vegas, which has received his seal of approval.
That's hilarious. So his name is Mr. Nebula.
And his Nebula Mobile.
The Nebula Mobile.
Do you see his smile? It is uncomfortable.
I can't really see the smile from this far away. Let me see. Let me grab the card. People love it when we hand stuff to each other.
Oh, yeah, it's great for podcasts.
Audio.
Look at that. Right. I'm uncomfortable with that smile.
Oh, my God. He's adorable.
It's just disconcerting.
He looks like oh, my God. All right. I need you to be holding it as I say this. Okay. He has a purple version of Homer Simpson's beard. Do you see it?
I do.
It looks just like, okay.
Wow.
I will post the photo of this in the Discord.
That's
Somebody
gotta go up
remind
there.
me.
Yep.
That looks like the shape.
I totally
it
see
looks
it.
like when you see Homer from the front and his
and he's
beard.
got that thing. Yeah. Oh, that's
That's
so
what
weird.
it looks like. All right, I have another duplicate. I know for a fact we've gotten Vandal Savage before because I've mentioned how it sounds like a great wrestler name.
Oh, yep. I've got another new one because it's a character I love dearly.
You're crushing it.
Ice, number 58.
Ooh, number 58, Ice, just Ice, ICE.
ICE. She's one of the leads of that Human Target book I was raving you about.
Oh, I'm not familiar, but maybe if I see the picture, it's one of those things.
She's not like that big of a character. It's just that
Wait, is
she's
there
really
two-
good in this run.
Are there two characters
She's
in that
freezing
card?
someone
Oh, I was going to say.
with her powers of ice.
It's a good thing they let us know what she does.
I mean,
we might have been confused.
Frankly, without that name, I'm lost. All right, last card.
At least they didn't name her Ice Woman.
That's true.
Right.
They
Could
just
have been
let her
worse.
be. Yeah.
But like we literally, how much better would his name be if it was just Ice instead of Iceman?
Oh, that's true.
So many mans.
And he's also like, that'd be so edgier. And like when he's all big and shit.
Yeah.
Ice.
Like Beast Man
Yeah.
was not what they went with. Why? Because Beast is a better name.
Plus Iceman's Val Kilmer. It's very confusing.
Oh, right. That's right. Alrighty. I think I have a completed set now. 164. Nope, we already have it. Armageddon 2001.
Oh, I remember that card.
One of the great battles cards. We're still missing number 3, I think, of Armageddon.
Last card. I think it's a dupe. I think my first and only dupe. Number 175.
175 is not a dupe.
No dupe.
Classic
deck.
covers.
Boom. Green Lantern Showcase. I just know this cover too well.
So it's showcase number what?
It is Showcase number 22.
Nice.
This cover is like one of the most iconic in
Can I
DC.
see?
So
Oh yeah. That's when I picture Green Lantern in my head.
This is the image.
That's the image.
I think that's why I thought I had the card because I'm like, oh, I know that card.
I see this.
0 dupes.
In that whole deck.
Whole
Wow.
deck.
Well, I'm gonna end it with another dupe in card number 22 in Golden Age Cheetah.
Boom
So
shakalaka.
yeah,
I remember
we've
her.
got dupes. So you've got no dupes in that first
0
deck?
dupes, guys. That's impressive. Like 5 weeks into doing this. Or
That
whatever.
is really impressive. All right, I'm gonna just for the sake of keeping it organized, I'm gonna hand you my dupes to put in that brown box next to you because that's our dupe box.
dupe box.
The one underneath, or yeah, it's under there somewhere. I think you put a bunch of crap on it.
Oh.
The books on it. Yeah. So that's our dupe box, and I will take these cards and put them with our completed set, which we are now 67% the way through.
That's crazy. We've passed in the American school system.
Alrighty. We have passed. We have at least graduated this
Frankly,
set.
that's how I graduated, just by the skin of my teeth.
Alrighty, let's see. Second pack here. This is fun. Alrighty. All right, second pack. I am starting out with, once again, Raven and her soul
self. I am once again getting a new card.
God damn it.
Number 126, Ares.
Like the
God of War.
126?
Yep.
We have already had Ares.
I didn't. That's a bummer. Okay, my first dupe then.
Ares.
Ares.
So it's like different than Ares with an I. Isn't it Iries in the Greek mythology?
Oh, you might be right.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Probably. Still a nod. I believe I have another dupe here. Card number 130. Yep, Despero or Despero. We've already got him.
I think this
Playing
one's
chess.
new.
All right.
17.
17 is probably in those classic series. Nope, Silver Age Soup.
God damn it.
It's our only Soups card we have so far.
Oh, shit.
So we don't have Golden Age Superman or Modern Age
Modern
Superman.
Age 90
So
Superman.
those are two that we're missing. My next one is card number 46 in the deck, and it is Dove, another dupe. We've already got Dove.
Think this one's new.
You
But
said
I've
that
said
about
that
the last
before.
two.
112. No whammy.
112. Adam Strange.
God damn it, he's even fighting a dragon. I thought that would have remembered that. He's fighting a dragon.
No, we did talk all about.
Because you pulled it and I remember
yes,
that. Yeah.
we talked all
damn it,
about
all
the
dupes.
strange of it all. About how like Adam Strange might be the most comic book name of all time.
And he looks the most comic-y, like
Right.
Adam Straight. Yeah.
Already, I believe we've already got Heroes from Beyond. Card number 125, Starfire. No, we do not. This is a new one.
Ooh.
I could have sworn we've already got Starfire. Yeah, this is, and I love this this image with the giant head of hair that turns into smoke.
I mean, what else do you want in life?
Do you see how like
Beautiful.
oh, it's fantastic. Starfire is a great character.
I've got number 98.
9-8. That is not a new card. That's Jericho.
God damn it, this deck.
All right, well, good. You're having one of mine. What did I just say we needed?
Did you get a new Superman?
We needed a Superman. Well, Daddy delivers.
Look up in the sky.
Card number 16, a very beautiful card that is Golden Age Superman.
Oh,
It is the tiny little S on his chest. Superman. Tiny little S on his chest, and he's clearly flying underneath the Statue of Liberty, which you could just see the torch in the background. That's lovely art right there.
Oh, that's pretty. I like that.
Interesting decision to make the sky yellow.
You know, because that's where it's his power from, the yellow sun.
You know what? Wait a minute. Does Metropolis have a Statue of Liberty?
Not that I know of. Is he in New York? Is he visiting?
Or in the DC universe, since Metropolis is very New Yorky, right?
Right.
Is Metropolis?
Is it just New York?
Are they the ones who have the Statue of
That's
Liberty?
interesting. I've never thought about that. Maybe.
Because I feel like I've seen a lot of images because of the America, Truth, Justice, America Way shit of it all.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen a lot of images of Superman at the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, that's interesting.
But he's generally connected to the city of Metropolis.
Is it literally just? I mean, because Gotham's also New York in its own way. Interesting. I got questions.
Yeah, I've always saw Gotham as like a Chicago kind of.
Definitely. As far as vibe.
That's sort of like, it's always been like, yeah. Well, there we go. First new card for me. Golden Age Supes.
Number 79.
Number 79 is Amazo. We've already got him as well. Alrighty, I have card number 60. We talked a little bit. It is a new one, but we talked a little bit about how certain characters are just getting called Green Lantern, but not John Stewart.
Oh, there he is.
Card number 60.
Beautiful.
So did we? I can't remember. Who was it that they just called?
I think it was Hal, because I think Guy Gardner got a name.
Interesting. Yep. Yeah, you're right. I remember the Guy Gardner card.
Yeah.
John Stewart.
I know we have number 30 because we've been talking about him a lot.
Who is number 30? Let's see. Do we have him? We do have him. That's Modern Age Mixel Tittleplick.
We need Supergirl to help us say that name.
Mixes Tittleplick. Tittleplick. Titplick.
That's what it is. It's Tittleplick.
Titplick. Nailed it. Alrighty, I've got another great battle. No, we've already got this because I said last time we've completed our invasion, and I have yet another invasion. Let me just double check to make sure this isn't something different. Card 155. That is one of the invasions.
Yep, I know we got number 94 because we keep talking about this guy with his silly face.
Who's 94? Yep, Eclipso. And I have another Dr. Light, so another dupe there.
There it is. All right. I know this one's a dupe, number 110, because I like the guy's history, and you were like, why has he got so many faces?
Yeah, that's the Vandal. Another dupe. I have a recent dupe. Here's another Nightwing.
Oh, beautiful suit.
This is what we're going to get to towards the end.
This is
where we're going to start getting into at some point, I think when we get to like
80%,
85%, we should start reading we should look at the reference chart. Right?
Let's see what we're missing.
And see who we're missing.
Once we get to a solid B,
because then 85%. We'll have the names. Yeah.
164.
164 is Armageddon Part 1 or
Card B.
Card B. Well, that's I'm gonna write B because I didn't write that for those. Ooh, so that means we're missing A because we have B and C of that.
That's at least helpful. Thanks, Card.
Yeah. I have Parasite once again. So recent, very recent dupes.
22, I think we have, but it's a Golden Age, so I don't know if maybe there's a Golden Age Cheetah.
Oh yes, that's the one I got last.
You got
last
the Golden
deck
Age
as well.
Okay.
And yet another Lex Luthor rounds mine out.
86. Oh, we definitely had Chemo already.
Yes, we have had card number 86.
Oh, I think we have one new card, I think.
Okay, who we got?
64.
64 is Nightshade.
I had 0.
All right, well there you
have
it.
Last time I had completely new, this time completely dupes.
So at the end of this, we have 69.4%. So we have nearly 70% of the entire deck.
Not bad.
Not bad. Once again, if you're still listening and you enjoy this silliness, then we appreciate you obliging us because it's very fun for us.
Very fun with the visuals.
And I do want to say that we will give these cards once we get a full set to a person at random that we will pick from our Apple podcast reviews.
Yeah.
So please head on over to Apple Podcasts, leave us a review, and you are in the running. And it doesn't have to be a new one. I think we just pick the entire, every single review. We're going to put all the names.
What
into
if they stop listening?
Then they'll never know. And we'll give people like a month to claim the cards.
That I like.
And that way, if somebody doesn't listen anymore and they don't come forward, we could draw another name.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. That is going to do it for this week's episode. You lovelies. We'll be back in a couple of weeks for our hot and hotline heavy episode and more card pulling. And then, as ever, every week we got Patreons dropping. If you've got to join the patron only pod, we're going to be talking about lots of stuff, including a full spoiler of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, as well as we both watched a lot this time. So we're gonna have some good ones this go around.
This is the time to join. The next 4 weeks. If you like me being angry at bad comic book movies,
tune in.
Then I watched Black Adam.
Oh boy!
If you love me, making Koi sad for movies that he loves, well, you got to tune in. If you want to hear Koi try to struggle through a movie that I know he didn't like, but for the sake of a listener, then there's lots of stuff. But also, by the way, a ton of really great stuff too. I know that I'm harping.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of good.
In fact, the last like 4 sets of patron only pods, neither one of us had a bad thing to say about anything we watched.
That's true.
And I think
Until
we're going to pay for that in this session. But
but I've given 22 films 5 stars. One of them we're going to talk about. So that is going to do it, you lovelies. It has been an absolute pleasure. We'll be back in a couple weeks. Please do rate and review on Apple Podcasts. Enter your chance to win this stack of cards coming at you. Check out koicast.com for merch. We got shirts, we got mugs, we got masks. Head on over to the Patreon. And you can listen to the Patron Pod, which we were just talking about. Follow us on social media. Use hashtag KoiCast to get our attention. I'm at Koi Jandro. He's at Jake Lloyd Bacon. Call us, as always, at 818-794-0722. That's 818-794-0722. We're back in a couple weeks. Thank you very much. You can also send a voice memo to contact@koicast.com. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And thank you, as always, to comic books, movies, art, and you for existing.
Scott and Arbor here, along with
Jake Lloyd Bacon.
We're both actors and comedians, but far more importantly, we're both professional wrestling fans.
Pro wrestling is a blast. It is over the top. It is ridiculous. It is comedic, dramatic, and everything in between.
And so is our show.
Yeah, we talk about wrestling new, old, it's evergreen over on Pro Wrestling Palskis.
So tune in at pwpalskis.com or wherever you're listening to this podcast right now.
Dragon Wagon.